It says, okay, this news says, according to Ahmed, I am not crying for terrorists, but every patriot should cry for our sovereignty. Sheikh Gumi reacts again to US airstrikes in Nigeria. So Sheikh Gumi said that he's not crying for the terrorists, but he's crying for Nigerians' sovereignty. Okay? Bandit and terrorist negotiator Sheikh Ahmed Gumi has not been happy following the US airstrike that killed ISIS second in command, Abu Bilal Amiliki. Okay? Reacting to the operation, Gumi said nobody cries for terrorists, but every patriotic citizen should cry for Nigerians' sovereignty. Did you hear that? Okay. It went further to say, according to him, area bombing of stationary targets is not rocket science that should require foreign forces firing on Nigerian soil. Okay? Finally, it says, he warned that while terrorists deserve to be fought, Nigerians should also be concerned about foreign military involvement in the country's security operations. That is what Sheikh Ahmed Gumi posted, this man. But something again happened. After he posted this news, a US mayor posted something on his Facebook page. Please stay with me. According to Mike Arnold posted this. Look at this. He said, next, Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Mahmood Gumi, have a nice day. So this Mike Arnold, American mayor, is saying that next person is who? Sheikh Gumi, according to Mike Arnold. Honestly speaking, there is fire on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain. Things are happening since Trump, started involving himself on this issue of insecurity in Nigeria. But you know what? I'm going to play a very short video for you now. Please. I want to beg you to stay put. Listen to where a man took time to analyze this man that is called Sheikh Gumi. He exposed a lot of things that Sheikh Gumi has been doing and saying in Nigeria. Wonders shall never end, though. Wonders shall never end. You remember that popular proverb I told you? Now, ada abo say if you nankete. Ebe nwata na ebe akwa atu aka. Nne ya no ya nne ya ga anu ya. Please listen to this analysis I was given. Then you understand a bit of what we are talking about. Then you drop your comment in the comment section, please. What you think?
Gumi. How many times have I called you Sheikh Gumi? How many times? Gumi, you are now going against Trump, you are now going against Nigeria. Listen to this. Reject the call for peace and prepare to endure the brutality of war. Those are not my words. Those are the words of Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. I don't speak like that. Because of Sheikh Dr. Gumi, today I'm wearing black. I am mourning. This is a dark day in Nigerian history. Since the Trump era Sokoto Christmas attacks, many influential voices in Nigeria have gone quiet. Radio silence. Some have gone into hiding. I have not seen the Sultan of Sokoto myself in public, but Sheikh Gumi feels emboldened. He's a tough guy. So tonight, Nigeria must ask a serious question after rhetoric like that. This morning, is this peace advocacy or a threat issued a sovereign state that like Nigeria? Is Nigeria still a sovereign state? Because when a radical Islamic cleric wants a nation that rejecting his own framework leads to war, that crosses a line. It crosses a line, ladies and gentlemen. Let us look at fact versus fiction. Let me be precise. Fact. Sheikh Gumi publicly posted a statement warning that rejecting his own peace framework will lead to, quote, the brutality of war, unquote. For years, this Sheikh has advocated negotiation with armed Islamic groups rather than their military defeat. He's never advocated for their defeat. This is my opinion. Across large sections of Christian Nigeria, Gumi is viewed not as a neutral mediator, but as the most prominent intellectual enabler of violence against Christian communities. Clearly, This is my opinion. That perception is real though. It is widespread and it is politically consequential. Especially after Sokoto, it is politically consequential. Narrative control and Wikipedia. Let me say this on record. Wikipedia, which you know you can go there and write your own how you think. Wikipedia's profile of Sheikh Gumi reflects the northern establishment / caliphate power narrative in Nigeria. It is not the moral consensus of Nigerians who have buried their dead. 7,000 Christians died last year, according to Riley Moore. Wikipedia records power. It does not record pain. And millions of Christians, unlike how Wikipedia sees him, do not see Gumi as a peacemaker. They see a man whose rhetoric explains away slaughter while villages burn. Hundreds of villages, maybe thousands. This rhetorical escalation by Gumi is a national security issue. This was not mediation language. This was conditional. This is coercion. Accept this his own peace model or accept war. That framing does the following. It shifts responsibility from armed Islamist groups. It places moral blame on the state, Nigerian state and victims. It puts pressure. It pressures government under the threat of catastrophe. This is why this is no longer theology. This is national security. Ribadu, who goes to bribe people in DC, who goes to lobby with $9 million Nigerian dollars, I hope he's watching this. Let's go to the Magnitsky logic, which is not a verdict. Let me apply Magnitsky to this man. I am not issuing a legal judgment. But under the global Magnitsky framework, we target enablers of gross human rights abuses, individuals who legitimize or excuse mass violence. Sheikh Gumi raises serious flags, serious red flags, including the following: persistent public defense of negotiation with terror-linked armed groups. They're usually Islamic groups. I don't know any Christian groups involved here. Public minimization of atrocities against civilians. Moral pressure campaigns against military resistance. That is Magnitsky logic. That is the act that is going to be applied against people like Gumi. Gumi versus Trump. This is where worldviews collapse. On one side, on Gumi's side, you have accommodation, dialogue with kidnappers, fear-based persuasion. And on the other side, on the Trump side, when it comes to Nigeria, as you can see here, zero tolerance for terror, even worldwide, for terror ecosystems, including clerics who sanitize violence. And so, this is my personal political call. I humbly call on President Trump, who has already demonstrated a willingness to dismantle terror networks in northern Nigeria. Europeans have not done this. Nobody has done this. Trump wants to dismantle not just the gunmen, but the enablers. He has shown this already. Sheikh Gumi should be investigated. He should be sanctioned. He should be examined under international law. Maybe he should be brought to New York like Maduro. If evidence warrants it, I do not even object to him facing justice in New York federal courts. I don't object to it if they can get the evidence. The same way Nicolas Maduro was pursued. That is my opinion. Others may disagree on this. Let's talk to Gumi. Let's have lunch with Gumi. Let's sit down have Gary with Gumi. I make a direct call also to Nigerian leadership who pretend they've not heard this. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Mr. President, this is no longer rumor or speculation. People have talked about Gumi for years. A prominent Islamic player right in your face has warned the nation you rule of war. You must respond within 24 hours. You just came back to Nigeria. I don't know whether it's up to 24 hours. Silence will be interpreted as weakness or complicity. Mr. President, act. Minister of Defense and CDS. Nigeria has recently tried this symbolic balance in its security leadership amid international pressure from Trump. Many consider this cosmetic. I'll explain why. The current chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa, who is in fact, the Minister of Defense, is widely seen as a Christian appointment, meant to reassure Washington after earlier controversies. They tried to tell Trump, no, they're not Muslim. There is public commentary suggesting that Musa is institutionally close to entrenched northern military networks. His appointment is viewed by critics as symbolic appeasement, not structural reform. That makes this moment decisive. Musa can prove me wrong here. Let him issue a clear and public statement about Gumi, and people like Gumi or forever hold his peace. The vice presidency and Bishop Kuka, there are persistent political discussions right now in Nigeria that President Tinubu may soon present. He wants to please Trump. He may soon present a Christian vice president to project rebalancing and reduce external pressure from Trump and from Washington, D.C. Names frequently mentioned include Christians, Matthew Kuka and Yakubu Dogara, former speaker. Whether or not it materializes, Bishop Kuka, a former, I'm saying former because now the man is always quiet, former most prominent moral voice of Christian Nigeria, must speak now. He has been quiet. I hear he's working with, he's a party man now. Some are accusing him of politically supporting Tinubu, hence his silence. Since the Sokoto Christmas bombings in his own Sokoto archdiocese, this is a man that used to go every day and sit in front of Congress and say they're killing Christians, suddenly he's quiet. On this threat, on this rhetoric, on this moment, Bishop Kuka, silence is no longer neutrality. You are silent, you are taking side with the enablers. This is my final warning. This is the line. Nigerian Muslim cleric must stop issuing ultimatums to the state. Government must stop outsourcing authority to fear to people like Gumi. Leaders must speak now, not after the bloodshed, not after hundreds of thousands have died. Those who refuse to speak today should forever hold their peace. Like, subscribe, share the Ofion show. Action must be taken, ladies and gentlemen, against Sheikh Dr. Gumi immediately. I hope President Trump is watching. I know Tinubu was going to pretend like he's not watching. This is the Ofion show on YouTube. I am the voice of the voiceless. I am your independent voice, documenting what power hopes to stay quiet, like today they've all kept quiet. Telling fearless truths like I just did. I am Ofion Aqua. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Make we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Comrade Muhammad Ali Ringel, an ex-security expert. Securing lives and properties is my area of specialization. I want to see this very moment to call upon His Excellency the United States of American President Mr. Donald Trump, my good friend, to please be aware that Nigeria, we are not suffering from religiosism, tribalism. We are not persecuting Christians. We are always living together with Christians and Buddhists, Sikhs, Hindus, Taos, Maos, Confucius, Baha'is, Rastas, Satanists, and Shantos. All these religious denominations, if they may be at Nigeria, we are living peaceably with them because we are suffering from humanitarianism. Mr. Donald Trump, let me be aware that Nigeria is not Vietnam. Nigeria is not Afghanistan. Nigeria is not Iraq. Nigeria is not Iran. Nigeria is not Venezuela. If you attempt to encourage and make aggression and send your armed forces to Nigeria to wage war, it's an unscrupulousness. But be aware that our mosquitoes, they are waiting for your soldiers to bite them and infect them with malaria fever to die instantly. And more so, I heard last minute that Lieutenant General Chiwai Danjuma made a blatant falsified allegation against the Nigerian armed forces. He stated that Nigerian armed forces, they are conniving, conspiring, collaborating with bandits, which is a blatant falsified lie. Chiwai Danjuma, be warned. I know you very well since Murtala Mohammed administration. Before you become a madman, you are sensible. You are the chief of army staff in Nigeria. But for you to accuse our armed forces, more especially the soldiers and our security agencies, for conniving and working together with bandits, is a blatant falsified lies. And if you are among the people that are instigating United States of America to come and wage war at Nigeria, black people armed forces, they are gallant. They can fight you.
Oh, Shagumi. 52 kids were abducted yesterday at St. Mary's Church School in Minna, Niger State. These kids are between the age of 10 to 19 years old. Only God knows what they are doing to those kids as we speak. Shagumi, 32 kids were abducted in KB State. Shagumi, while a church service was going on at CAC in Kwara State, terrorists entered into the church. They were shooting up, and at the end of the day, they killed some people. Not just that, they carried about 38 of them. And as we speak now, they are requesting for 100 million naira per head. Shagumi, please, I beg you, we need those kids back. These are your people. At the end of the day, I don't care if anybody's going to say you are defaming him, you must bring proof. Shagumi, these terrorists are your people. These terrorists are your people. You have said it before that these people are on a revenge mission. What revenge mission? What did they do to these people? What did they do to these people that they are revenging? Even if you want to revenge, why are you carrying kids from school? Why are you going into the churches? You are carrying girls? Which revenge mission? You went on saying that, oh, they are demonizing them. Why is the government demonizing them? That they should do a peace deal. We are not. Why is the government even thinking of peace deal? Soldier, police, DSS, if you don't know what to do, there's only one man that knows these people better than you all do in Nigeria. Go and ask Shagumi. Shagumi, me, if they will not ask you, I will beg you, Shagumi, please return these kids. If nobody will say it, I will say it. Shagumi, return these kids. And you are not a Muslim. You are not a Muslim. You are hiding under Islam to do all these things. Therefore, lying to these people. You are not a Muslim. You are a terrorist sympathizer. Shagumi, you are the only person that knows where these people are. You have been sympathizing for them. They say, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. Shagumi, return these people that your people have abducted. Return the 52 kids to their parents. Return the 32 kids that were taken in KB State. And these other 38 people, the one where they don't buy them. These other 38 people, please return them. And to the federal government, if you don't know what to do, let somebody else that know what to do to come up. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have a lead. Carry Shagumi. Shagumi will point where these things are happening. He knows them. We are tired. We are tired. This is a video. This is him.
You mentioned earlier that the bandits, the terrorists, needs convincing, and we all know the havoc they've created, in the society in Nigeria. They've raped women, they've killed lives, they've destroyed properties. So do the government really need to convince these terrorists at this point?
So when you say they have killed, yes, I know they have killed, but You see, if you know their psychology, they are on a revenge mission. Everybody knows the herdsmen, especially the Fulani herdsmen. They don't just attack people. We have been living with them for centuries. They don't attack people without any cause. So what I think government needs to do is to really bring them up together in a unison and in a holistic form, so that there is peace. And they are ready for that, because if you call them for peace, they come. So why is government afraid of listening to these people? They just want to demonize them and give
Man is fearless, just saying all those things. He's definitely a terrorist sympathizer. So Gumi, you and government have your own. Please return those kids. And whatever revenge mission they have, I don't know what the problem is, who started it, but they should carry out their revenge on the people that started it. Don't go for the innocent kids.